I'm sure you must be amazed by the title of this video. Don't keep your money in the bank. Like, hey, this is what banks are for. But most of us don't know how banking works. Some deep study into the banking system and you'll understand why I'm saying so. But if you're not in the mood to do all the research, we're here to explain it to you. So stick with us till the end of the video to find out the details. But before we proceed, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. When you deposit money in your savings account, do you believe that your money sits right there quietly like a well-mannered first bencher? You're wrong, because banks make your money a part of a vast money pool, and this money keeps getting moved within that pool. Suppose you deposit $1,000 in the bank. Only $100 is in your savings account, which is 10% of the amount you deposit, while the other $900 is part of that money pool. This is called fractional reserve banking. Under this system, banks cannot keep more than 10% of their money. 90% of your money will have to become part of the system. Now, this is the minimum percentage. It might be even lower for some banks. But hey, you must be thinking when you check your balance, it does not tell you 10% of the total amount, but you see your entire balance. That's just digital money. Suppose you want to withdraw more than 10% or even 100% of your account. The bank will take the money from the pool and give it to you. Now, where does your 90% cash go? It's used to provide loans to other people or businesses on higher interest rates. Some of it also goes for investing in specific projects. What kind of projects? How many projects? You have no idea about that. This way, banks might use your money for those investments which are against your beliefs and values. This way, banks earn from your money. Fraction reserve banking is all fun and games until panic ensues and people collectively rush towards the bank. If 100 people ask for 100% of their cash, the bank can give them that. But what if 100,000 people withdraw all of their savings simultaneously? The bank could not provide instant liquidity to such a large number of people. This is what happened in 2008, when people rushed to the banks because of economic instability and decided to withdraw their money. But the banks crashed, and guess what happened to those people's money? Well, they lost it. Yeah, more than $140 billion were lost this way. And this is how the banking system works in the whole world. It originated in Sweden, but then gradually took over the entire world. Recently, this system was also exposed in China when the economy was set back because of a pandemic and housing market crisis, and the people fled to banks to withdraw their savings. But this was of no use, as banks did not have the instant cash. 4,000 banks crashed, and the Chinese government took the people's money and said it was now used for investment purposes. No one knows how and where this money is being invested. Of course, the US government does not work like that, but letting some third party have this much control over your money is still concerning. Ever since the pandemic times, the federal government has asked banks to change the fractional reserve system percentage to 100% so as to support the economy. This means 100% of your cash is floating in the cash pool. Okay, my next argument against banks is inflation. What is inflation? According to Wikipedia, inflation is a general increase in the prices of goods and services in an economy. When the general price level rises, each unit of currency buys fewer goods and services. Consequently, inflation corresponds to a reduction in the purchasing power of money. Ever since we grew up, we have been told by our parents and grandparents to save money for rainy days. Like, that's what our grandparents did. They earned, saved money, and bought a house. But those were the times when the dollar's value was backed by gold, so the dollar was steady. But this system was abolished in 1971, and now the value of the dollar is affected by the economy. We don't know that we're saving for a rainy day, but the money is leaking from the bank. No, the bank is not stealing our money. It's just depreciating in value, and its purchasing power is decreasing. Groceries that you could buy for $100 today will cost you $108 in the next year. So, as long as the interest rate provided to you by the bank on your savings account is lower than the inflation rate, you're losing money. Right now, the inflation rate is around 8%, while the standard savings account offers an annual return of 0.01%, so you can clearly see how much you're losing. Okay guys, these were the problems, but what is the solution? You have to become your own bank. No, I'm not telling you to have some banking degree, nor am I telling you to stock up all your cash and bury it in the backyard. But there are a few certain things that you can do, so let me break it down for you. First of all, make a clear check about your accounts. After this video, sit down and track down your spending. That's what banks do. They have a detailed record of each dollar. You have to do the same. And while doing so, you'll notice what makes up a significant portion of your budget. This way, you can impose budget cuts and save money. Now, let's play a reverse card with the bank. Just like the bank uses 90% of your money and gives you direct access to 10%, so you also give the bank access to just 10% of your total cash. This 10% should be your emergency fund, which should constitute 3 to 6 times of your monthly budget. This does not just mean rent or money spent on groceries. It should include every dollar spent within a month. By now, you've pinpointed your major spending and also saved up money for emergency. So where should the remaining money go? Just like the bank profits from your money, why shouldn't you make money from your money? And what's the best approach for that? Investing. 90% of millionaires gain this insane amount of wealth by investing in real estate. The stock market is another great option. No matter what kind of investment you step in, you need to have some ground-level preparation. There are tons of books on financial education, but I'll tell you about my top favorites. The first one is Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Honestly, this book would change your relationship with money. In this book, he interviewed millionaires and then wrote down the essence of their schemes and strategies. It's essential to read these financial books because, for most of us, our first interaction with the stock market is through the newspaper, where the stock market is portrayed as a scary place that will leave you bankrupt. You'll be less intimidated by figures and graphs if you know how the stock market works. It's just like a new job, which seems horrifying to you initially. But after getting familiar with the work setting, you realize it was not as difficult as you had imagined it to be. So guys, that's all I had for today. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and click on that subscribe button so that we can remain connected in the future. See you soon.